Welcome to Millennial Facts, where we discuss facts that are about the millennial generation, but we delve a little deeper into how they relate to us, or how they don't relate to us, or how true or untrue we think these facts actually are. And I have a very special guest with us today who's going to talk about this fact with me.
Leah Butler. I'm 26, recently turned 26. I graduated with my master's this year. I'm very excited about that. I work at a technological firm as audio manager and quality assurance, and I'm a mommy. I have a 3-year-old daughter named Mia.
It's my God, baby. Plug.
Look at that.
Throw that in there. So, she's going to read our millennial fact that we're going to discuss today, and then we're going to get into our conversation. So, listen up.
Okay, so according to whitehouse.gov, millennials are less likely to be homeowners than young adults in previous generations. Another fun fact about me, I just bought a house.
Yay! This millennial is making moves. We beat facts around here. Well, some of us.
Well, and to me, that's the point. I do agree with it. I think it is a fact because all my friends are millennials and I'm the only one with a house. So that's the point. I mean, it is true, but there are exceptions to every, rule, every fact, every situation.
Right.
So?
And so when I think about homeowning, I think about stability. I think about income. I think about a family. I think about a pair, 2 people. You don't really see people making big decisions like that on their own.
That was one of the reasons why I bought a house, because I had an apartment. I loved my apartment. It was wonderful, but it was really expensive. And so I would have stayed another year, but then they raised my rent like $130. I was already paying over $1,000 a month for a 1-bedroom. And like I said, I have a 3-year-old daughter. So the idea was, okay, well, she's going to be growing. She really missed our apartment when we left. So I said, okay, maybe I should look into getting a house because my mortgage essentially is way cheaper than my rent was. And it's my home. I can do whatever I want to do to it. I can make my wall purple. I can change the floor, which I did. Right. So the stability for my child is why I did it. If it was just me, if I wasn't a mother, I'd be off somewhere else doing something else. But I have a child and I have to create some type of stability for her, which means let's get a home. She has her own room. She helped me paint it. And I can start, I can keep my family stable now. And it's more economically efficient for me, because it is so expensive to rent. No matter how much I love my apartment, I have to go.
And so, being on the other side of the spectrum, and probably among most people who can attest to what we're all going through, what I'm going through in particular, graduated college, jumped right into not necessarily a career, but a program that paid back my loans. We all know how serious that is. Jumped right into a career that basically was centered around community service. So I could have built something off of that, but at the same time, the pay it's not like a real job. Like it's benefits behind it though. So you get health insurance, you get your loans paid back. Financial stability is not something that I'm very familiar with. Even working with that job, I got $600 every 2 weeks. That's nothing. To be completely honest, my car note is $294. And my cell phone bill is up to like $90, and then you have to count the credit card bills you accumulated. You have to count certain things happen,
gas, food, clothes,
exactly. And so, being in that situation, I know most people who graduate college have a really tough time finding a job. Yes, we are optimistic, but it is hard. Home owning?
Well, according to the fact, I guess they're saying that we are less likely to own than previous generations. So I'm guessing for them, maybe, I mean, so many things were different for previous generations than we are now. So I get it. I think family does lead you to it. If you are married, that does, encourage you to do it. Being a parent, whatever. There would be nothing wrong if you decided to buy a house. But I don't see the dire need to necessarily. And then also what helps with it is that my mom is Jamaican. She's moving back to Jamaica every year. She's moving back to Jamaica, but I think it's real this time. And she feels a lot more comfortable knowing that I have a house and that I can afford, my mortgage and so on and so forth, car note, everything else I have, because I do have quite a few bills. But I do have a really good job that wasn't necessarily in my field. I want to be a journalist. I want to write. But like I said, if I didn't have my daughter, I'd be off doing other things. I'd be like a struggling writer in New York or something like that. That was my original life goal.
Right.
But I had a daughter, so I'm good at managing things. I'm good at being in charge of things. My MBA is in project management. At the company I work at, my boss is a project manager. It all ties in, and the whole plan is take care of the baby, make sure the baby's okay.
Right.
And so, I mean, I can see where for certain millennials things are different. Our parents' generation was raised different, which kind of in turn makes us different.
Right.
And so I can see there isn't really, like I said, there'd be nothing wrong if you want the house, but there's not necessarily a dire need for her to get one or anyone else.
Right. And I think what should have been passed down is the comfort, the stability, the financially smart thing to do is to own a home.
And it's so much cheaper. I mean, it's overall just smarter.
Yeah, it's just a smarter move. And I honestly feel like we were done a disservice to a certain extent because we weren't told that. It wasn't something that was like reiterated while we were in college. Definitely not while we were in college.
Me and Micah debate this all the time because we debate, this idea of being raised, who you're being raised by in different ways.
Right.
And so I'm coming from an island aspect. My mom is Jamaican.
Right.
So she wasn't born here. She's born in Jamaica. She came
Right.
here when she was young, and it was degrees,
Right.
nonstop. Micah's mom and my mom are similar. They both got a few. And Micah's mom is a doctor. My mom's finishing her PhD. So we have that whole education, obviously, was something that was always pushed for us. But with my mom, it is more of a, okay, you got to get yourself together. You're going to buy a house. You got a baby now. What are you going to do? I'm like, okay, Mom, just vibe. I'm going to do it, And if anything, I learned a lot from my mom, not just by, she taught me the whole idea of hard work, do what you got to do.
Right.
School was never a question. It was just always going to happen. And it's always been said to Micah. We never thought about, do we want to go, do we not want to go? We just go. Right. You know what I mean? And then for my mom, like I learned from decisions my mom's made. You know, you learn from others' mistakes. And my mom told me just the other day, actually, she's really proud of the things I've learned not to do, what to do. I'm very good at managing my money. It's service to some extent. Right. To some extent. Right. But at least you do have all the other. You have so much more. And the house part,
But just think about how we were raised, and so we're already privileged in a sense. And privilege goes on just so many levels. We can go racially privileged, or we can go privileged to go into private school when you're younger. Privileged to being able to go to summer camp. So little things like that. There are minor privileges, but overall, millennials are being more educated than any generation. But at the same time, I feel like that last year of college, something else should have been pushed other than just find a job. Find a job so that X, Y, and Z can fall into place, because not everybody has that person at home or that person in their family saying, hey, push for another degree. Hey, push to get a house. Hey, where's your man? Hey, where's your woman? Like, they don't have that constant thing going. So school has always been our second teacher. Mm-hmm. So at the same time, it's just like, homeowning is so important, and it's up there with owning a car, right?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know when people, you're right, like I don't really know when that's taught.
Right.
Because my mom was pushing me to get a house before I had my daughter. I was like 18. And she's like, you should buy a house. And I'm like, are you serious right now?
Right.
Like, Mom, why? I'm 18. What's wrong with you? And then I did plan to go off to college, but I couldn't go off because my mom needed my help with my little sister. So, okay, you graduated high school, go ahead and go to college, but I need you home at a certain time to help me with your sister. And I had to do it, and I mean, that's why I'm such a great mom now. I've been around for quite some time.
Right.
So, I think it's true. I don't know when you learn that these things have to happen. I think once I had my daughter, that's when it clicked for me. Okay, let me go ahead and buy a house. Might as well. My mortgage will be way cheaper, which it is. It's smarter for me and all my little expenses that come up with my kid or whatever. So it was me realizing I have a child I gotta take care of. And so maybe that's
a responsibility factor. Right. It's a dire need. It is a life, not necessarily life or death situation, but low key, yes, a life or death situation. When they present themselves, you have to step up to the plate. And that's where the two type of people come in. Do you need to be pushed to step up to the plate, or is it self-inflicted? It's self saying, I need to do this so that X, Y, and Z can fall into place. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think the fact is very, very much true, and it's a lot of factors that play into not home owning.
That's true.
But the one thing that I feel like we should end on is, it is important to own a home. It is a smarter move to own a home. Right now, I live with my parents, probably like most millennials now. I live with my parents. I am finding my way as far as financial stability goes. I want to own a business, but I'm taking the serious entrepreneur route. I don't even have a job right now, but bills are getting paid, and they're getting paid by me. So asking her, hey mom, pay it real quick, I got you 2 weeks. She gets her money. So we have this system built up that I know that I'm very blessed to have. But at the same time, if I were to want to move out of here, I want to move into a house. And I'm by myself. So that's also a little different as well. But at the same time, getting a foreclosed house is probably a really smart move right now. You know, and having a low mortgage versus what, $1,200 to $1,400 a month? That's not smart, you know?
So nice.
It's as beautiful as she could afford it. So
they raised it.
Right. And so when you think of money and how it affects your credit and how it looks, paying a certain amount of rent and you're a certain age and you have children or you don't have children, what is a smart move for you? We need to start thinking smarter about our situation. Yes, it's very comfortable to live with parents, but at the same time, it comes a time and a place that experience steps in, and you have to make that necessary move. And so she is living experience, didn't have the same upbringing as some of our millennials have, very independent, and it just took responsibility to be like, look, this is what I got to do. I've been doing it this whole time. I might as well branch off and do it on my own. So if you want to speak a little bit on that, you can.
I mean, yeah, what I was thinking about when Micah was talking, she made the point of saying she wished, like, in school, it was, you got more,
right?
You got a better, it wasn't just get a job. They also kind of told you, what about this, remember this, and this is why. And I think if you do, I do want to be a journalist. That's what I got my associates, then my bachelor's, and now my MBA. And so journalism was fun until I realized, okay, I got pregnant. And then I was like, okay, well, I can't be a traveling writer now. So now what do I do? And then my bachelor's now is in supervision management, because my logic was everyone needs a supervisor, everyone needs a manager, I'm good at it. So that, to me, I think that's also a way to think about it too. I told one of my creative writing teacher, I was I want to be an English teacher because I'm really big on English, and she was like, don't do it. And and to me, I'm like, that's terrible because you're an English teacher. She's like, don't do it. And she really just down talked and she was like, no, you do something so much better with your time, with your life, And so to me, as much as I would still honestly become a professor one day, I think it's smart to think about, how is this going to help me achieve things later on? Right. And not every degree is really the best degree, because, okay, I want to get a business degree. What do you want to do with that? You want to get a sociology because she has a better idea what she wants to do than some people do what they pick. And that also determines what you can do later on. Right. What you can do. I let my MBA be chosen by my occupation. I want to be a project manager. My bosses want, let's get an MBA in project management. Right. I could have gotten anything, but this worked. Right. So to me, I think that's what helps. You just have to really think it through. And for some people, I've always been like that. Let me think ahead. Let me plan for this. Not everyone is like that. And sometimes it does take a child, or sometimes it does take you having to be on your own, or sometimes it does take something to knock you into that mindset. But never be too wrapped up, in my opinion. Never be too wrapped up in your youth and how young and what I want to do, and not think about your future and what you need to do later on. Because I got my house when I was 25. I just turned 26 5 minutes ago. Got the same birthday. Woo. So I just turned 26, and I'm a homeowner now. And I have such a huge sense of accomplishment. My mom is so proud, and it does feel good to know that's my house. Right. So. And it just feels good, and it's good to plan ahead, and I know that for the most part I'm safe. So that would be my advice when it comes to the fact that less of us have houses than our previous generations. Right. That's true, and in many cases it may be okay, but never. I would say always think ahead. Think about your future. You're not going to be young forever. Right. So try to make, the older you get, try to make more self-conscious decisions on what you can do.
So thank you so much for joining us on our Millennial Facts. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you took something away from this conversation. We're going to continue to have more. I think it's really important that we talk to each other. I think it's really important that we look at these facts and say, okay, there's some truth to that, but there's also exceptions to the rule. And how can that exception help me be an exception to the rule?
That's cute.
So thank you. Tune in for Millennial Facts. I can't wait. It's going to be bigger and better. I have so many great ideas that I want to do with this. But I thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time with Millennial Facts.